So I got a comment request to make a video on soloing over Gravity. And Gravity is one of my favorite songs to play over, but it's also one of the most intimidating and challenging songs for me to solo over as far as the Mayer kind of catalog, because of how open it is and how many different avenues and routes you can take. And Gravity has some kind of repeated licks and motifs in the solo, but a lot of it seems to be a lot of, there's a lot of differentiation. There's a lot of unique parts of that solo that I've seen from live versions. Slow dancing has a lot more licks that you can see repeated and kind of ways that you can see the solo going. But Gravity really only has a couple. So the backing track version of the chord progression that I'll be talking about in this video is the live version. So I'm not going to show you the chords. There's a million videos that'll do a better job than I will. But that is the chord progression that I would suggest if you're going to play it live with a band or you want to play it. You'll get a lot more energy and ability to solo over that progression, in my opinion, than the... Because there it's such a major focused progression. I mean, it's two major chords, obviously, but that's something that if you want to do a middle solo, or you want to play two guitar solos with two guitars, one guy could do. One guitarist could do that, and then one could play the end solo is one way you can structure that song if you have two guitar players. But I thought I would just play along to the backing track for a little bit, and then after, mistakes and all, I'll just kind of go through what was going through my head and what kind of target notes I was going for, what different motifs and licks and things like that, and then we can go from there. I'm not going to bore you with the rest of that, but basically what's going on there. So you have this chord progression of volume, and the note that sounds kind of dissonant there is the F. It's an F, right? So that's where you can kind of signal, okay, that's a minor note in the G. Is that a minor note? Yeah. That signals for you to go to minor. You can go to minor. Again, I'm theory, a crazy theory I have, right? But that's something that when you hear that, you can play that note. That's what I was doing when I first started that solo. Or you can kind of go. That's something where signals that you can go and play a minor lick, right? So you're kind of messing around in the G major, like the BB box there. And then I mean, you can start your solo down here. I like to just start it in the fifth, like the familiar BB box where you play the intro, work up, throw in that note. That just sounds really good. You'll see that in a lot of the live solo versions. That note is hit a lot. That's a target note for sure. And then you can work your way up to get into the root. And when you're at the root, there's a lot of these, I mean, a lot of the solos, half the time, you're literally just... You're working in that kind of, between major and minor in that little box there. But as far as like off the top of my head, the only real note or lick that I try to hit every time is this Texas Flood style, really high. This is the climax of the solo. It's always this, or you're bending in that Albert King box there. And that is kind of what the solo works up to. So if you're trying to like kind of put some structure in, I would try to work your way from here, get to the root note, and then from the root note you can throw in some minor pentatonic licks up there. But you're going for that note. That's what you're working towards. That's for me when I hear it, that's the climax of the solo, is that bend. And as far as ending the solo, I feel like ending solos is often so much harder than starting them, because you can start really anywhere, but you want to have something, especially with your band, where they know you're ending the song. And that's going to be when you go back to the intro lick, you're going to play it through 4 times. You can see. And this is where you can get a little bit more creative and obviously use more intense dynamics when you're playing this. So you can... On the second time through, you can do a total minor lick, like do that. I've even played it where you go on the third time through, do a big bend there. There's a lot more freedom that you have there. It's not as delicate of a portion as the actual intro itself. You can kind of go more crazy and get more creative there. But then you're going to end the song probably, if you're playing this chord progression, with the... You're going to do that, right? And that would kind of close out the song. You go, boom, done. So yeah, the song calls for a lot of minor pentatonic runs as well. So you saw I think I played something along the lines of... Right? So that's something that's a really flashy, fiery lick. So you can do that after you're bending up here. And I would move back and forth. Minor pentatonic is obviously the same here and the same there. So go back and forth between those two boxes too. If you're playing up here and you're... Right? You don't have to just stick up here and then you're done. You can go back to, it's a good way to practice getting, sliding down there. That whole, that dynamic change can be really ear-catching and interesting for the listener, right? So you're doing that, and then you're hanging out in the BB box here. You can also do, if you want to play at the start of your solo, you can maybe even do, if you're going to start with some quieter dynamics and you're not going to go straight into this big bend. I was a little bit brash with that, but you can start with this major pentatonic box here. You'll see a lot of the end solos will start with John Mayer doing something along the line of that whole thing, the harmonic thing. You can sub that out and swap that for some really quiet or finger pick. Major pentatonic or major licks there. I say major pentatonic, that's just the box, but you can add in these. You kind of do some quote unquote prettier stuff there. Play with that as well. But the natural progression of the solo is you can start with some quieter dynamics, major stuff, get into some heavier bends, and then you're working your way up. You want to get to that high G root, and you got it. That's where the power comes from. Anytime that I've heard that song, I'd be like, "Fuck, that's a sick lick." It's coming from this part of the box. Right, it's something up there that to me catches my eye. And then you can obviously go down to the pentatonic here. It's a really I see a lot of resemblance with soloing over this song is Texas Flood. It can be a really powerful song. I think Gravity is a delicate song. The studio version, yes, but you can really turn this thing into a monster playing it live or over that cool, what is it? The live solo chords that can really, it can be a really powerful ending song. And watch John Mayer play it, you'll see it's a really intense song. I make these videos completely ad-lib, like completely off the cuff, so I'm sorry if they're not exactly as formatted as the other people that you might see, but that's just what kind of works for me. And if I have to edit stuff, I don't want to make videos. It's too much of a hassle. So this is what you're getting. I hope you like it. I'm going to close it out with that. Thank you for watching. If there's anything else that I can elaborate on, or maybe if you saw a lick that you want me to cover, just make a comment. But again, I'm a hobbyist. I do this for fun, and I don't really know all of the theory. I'm just kind of show you what I've digested over the years from watching so many performances and playing the song live and playing with with friends and stuff. I think that's a great way to learn, and playing to the backing track a million times is also a great way to kind of discover new things. And you have this lick here. I think that's a really fun thing to put in. That's something that I've seen live play so many times. The first time you do it, you suck at it, and then after you do it 100,000 times, you can get it to kind of sound decent. That's kind of the MO with this whole thing anyway. This whole guitar thing is all this repetition and practice. Anyway, I'll stop blabbing. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.